Hey guys, welcome to this week's recap of Indian Matchmaking, Episode 2, Take the Bobby. So we start off with this episode with Auntie Seema having high tea in the UK with other matchmakers that are from around the world. Okay, they're having tea. They're sharing about their profession and their experiences. So we first get to meet KJ. And I'm like, okay, KJ. KJ's kind of cute. So KJ, he is the founder and the CEO of Dill Mill, which is a dating app that he has created. And he initially created it for his sister, and he was successful, and he has helped his sister find a match, and his sister is married. So this is pretty much an app that can be used for South Asians globally to find their potential match, which I thought was pretty cool and quite amazing to hear about. He is actually single. So when he said he was single, y'all, I'm like, my head is like thinking of ideas. I'm like, Seema, if you don't close down this guy as a potential suitor for Rushali or somebody, girl, he's a catch. So he is single, and he, as he mentions that, a matchmaker can't really match themselves like a doctor can really do surgery on themselves, which makes sense. So I felt like, that could be a possibility for Seema. And then we hear about Adim, who has created the website called singlemuslim.com, which is specifically for Muslims to meet and to date. And they share their experiences with each other in matchmaking and pretty much the common struggle of all online dating and dating in general is pretty much picky people. People are so picky. They want this, they want that. They want a guy this tall. They want a woman young. They want this, they want that. They feel like even though they're 50, their body is giving 25. But these matchmakers all can relate with this. And I'm like, yeah, that is a common struggle that we always hear. So at the end of their discussion, of course, our girl, Auntie Seema, she wants KJ for her bio data. And I'm like, that's how you do it. That's the real gangster of matchmakers in that room. She's the one who, she come to like learn, but she also come to execute for her job. So Auntie Seema got his information, and she is looking for a match for KJ today. Okay, so I'm so curious, and I would love to see how it comes along for him on this show. If we'll see him in this season, I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see. And so now we are back in London, and we are here visiting Bobby. Seema is visiting Bobby and his family with a potential match that she wants to show him. So it is Seema's rule that one match at a time, so that, you don't get bombarded with so much decision making, which is good for Bobby because Bobby, he's super energetic. So I feel like giving him more than one match would make him combust. Like, he is high energy. So she first shows the dad, then the mom, and then Bobby. Bobby, he's so antsy. He can't wait to see who it is. So the family's looking at the paper, and they have such big smiles on their face. And I know they're just excited for him to just find a match already and to start a family. And the lovely lady, guys, it's Priya. Priya, who we met last episode. I didn't know we're going to intermatch, our people that we were meeting. I didn't know that. So the lovely lady is Priya, who we met last episode. And if you guys, as a reminder, she lives in north of London. She's 5'2" and a half, and she's a clinical pharmacist. So he likes that she's active, a chef, and a positive person. One concern that he did have is the height, but Seema is like, you're not going to marry the height. Don't worry. So Seema lets him know that she was previously married, which Seema viewed as a disadvantage for Priya. But for Bobby, that does not bother him at all. He was like, that doesn't bother me, ma'am. That doesn't bother me at all. So he rates her an 8.46, which I was like, okay, Bobby, that is doing too much. But he's just super excited to meet her in general. So I'm like, okay. I'm just wondering how it's gonna mesh because we met Priya, and but the thing is with Priya, she likes hair, and luckily for Bobby has a full head of hair. So I'm optimistic, We'll see, we'll see. Now over in New York, we have Viral, and she is packing up her things to go travel to meet Ashay's parents in India. She's nervous. I'm nervous. We are all nervous, okay? So she's packing up her things, and this is a big deal because it seems like, this is one step away from a proposal because he's having you come all the way to India to meet his family. I don't think you do that with any person or with anybody, okay? So these two do view each other very seriously, and the travel is 18 hours away. So they look so happy throughout their whole travel. So that's a good sign because, as they mentioned, one of the signs of a good partnership is that you're able to travel long distance with each other and still find each other's company enjoyable. So they look like they were having a blast. So we'll see. I'm nervous for our girl because she was very initially doubtful of this process, but she's opened up and she's been doing so well. Her growth has been amazing to watch. So now over in New Delhi, we're looking at the flowers, the views. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. But we actually get to see our true beauty, Miss Rushali. Okay, so Seema is visiting Rushali and her family to show the potential partner, under my impression, because Seema, she says you only get one match at a time. But then Seema said she got a few matches for Rushali. I'm like, a few matches for Rushali? Ooh. So for the family, this is hard because they are all so close. You see that they're very tight with one another. So the first guy that Seema shows Rushali and the family is Tushar. So Tushar, he is a filmmaker. He's 5'11", loves dogs, writes poetry. And once she saw that writes poetry part, that makes Rushali so happy. She just light up, like she lit up. So the best part for her as well is that they're in the same industry, which is good. This is good. They will have much to talk about, much to bond over, and they both like poetry. Perfect. So I didn't even care to hear about the other guy because after that poetry, he loves poetry, he writes poetry. That part is enough to say, okay, this is a done deal. This is a match. This is a match.com. Okay. So Rushali gets to see one more potential partner, and his name is Vardhan, and he's from Mumbai. He's 5'10" and is an actor and writer as well. So it was nice to see his bio information, and everything Rushali could ever want is there. It's either with Vardhan or with Tushar. So she actually is gonna have a hard decision to make because she has to pick only one to meet. Seema gave her a rule that she has to pick only one to meet, and she is nervous, of course, because she doesn't know who to pick. She got both suitors who are essentially perfect. So who can she pick? And that's gonna be such a difficult, because then it's kind of hard for her as well, because if she feels like she picks the wrong one, she's gonna think about the other possible match that she could have been with, the door number 2 situation. So I don't know, I feel like Seema should have just showed her one match. I felt like she just should have showed her just one match, because Rushali, she has already a lot going on. She's already thinking about, how her family life is going to be, the relationship with her mother and her father when she goes into this new relationship. So to give her 2 options, oh my God, I think Seema should have just gave her one. Rushali looks so overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed for her, okay? So we're back in London again, and we see Miss Priya. And of course, I can spot this anywhere. She is using the Fenty gloss on her lips to get dolled up. I can recognize Fenty anywhere, okay? So Seema is here, and she brings Bobby with her. And I'm like, what? What is Bobby doing here? I didn't know Bobby was visiting. Excuse me? And his height is what sticks out first for Priya. And I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, but no, it's not that bad. I felt like he had a few centimeters over her. So I didn't think it was bad. I don't think it was bad. But I was still kind of shocked to see Bobby. I thought they would see each other the day, not with the family. When you meet the family, that means there's a proposal, there's much more serious things going on. But no, we get to see Bobby meet Priya for the first time in front of her family. So you know what Bobby's going to be. And Bobby's going to be himself. Himself being high energy and a little bit of nervousness. But it's cute. I thought it was cute. I felt like this was an interesting date. Bobby, I felt like he was doing very well. He is letting the family get to know him, and he's asking questions to get to know Priya. Priya, she likes how nerdy he is, and I feel like Bobby is super smooth. He has a little smoothness to him. So he says that he wants to learn how to dance, and he's a terrible dancer. So he asked Priya her dancing skills, and she says she's not much of a dancer. So of course, how great of an idea for the first date is these two learning how to dance together. And I just love it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I was in smiles completely throughout the whole conversation. The dad too was all smiles throughout this whole conversation. And I felt super optimistic about this union between these two. Now I need to see him on a date. So I was excited to see this. I was excited to see how happy and how much the conversation flowed. So now we are in New Delhi, and the street food, oh my god, I got so hungry, but the street food was giving chef kiss. So we have Rushali, and Rushali is looking sad. Our glamour girl is sad. I don't like our glamour girl when she's sad because she has to decide who to meet. So Tushar likes and writes poetry, and Vardhan has passion. Okay? She's asking her mom, and pretty much what she got from her dad, her thoughts on who to date, and she kind of wants their approval. Mom eventually says that she likes Tushar because he lives pretty much next door to them. So I'm like, oh, then she's gonna go for Tushar, but I also feel like she should pick Tushar, okay? I understand Rushali when she opens up completely. She is the man of the house, and her parents are like her kids. And this dynamic is special and meaningful for her. And she wants someone who supports and embraces how she feels towards her parents and the care that she has towards her family, And that's understandable. So I think Rushali is not asking for much. I think Rushali is such a sweetheart, So I feel like she should pick Tushar because automatically we saw in his bio data that he likes to write poetry. And I felt like that's such a thing that she wanted so much. And I feel like we saw Vardhan's, but we saw Vardhan second. So I feel like she should go with the first choice, which is Tushar. So hopefully Tushar. I'm leaning toward Tushar. Now, if we get Vardhan, we'll see. But we are supportive towards our girl Rushali. Okay, nothing but the best for Rushali. So back over to Priya and Bobby. They are in dancing class, and these two look like the struggle bus. Okay. So to Priya's surprise, Bobby, he shows up in salsa shoes that had heels on them. I'm like, sir. No. And then now I think maybe he is a little bit shorter than Priya because when we saw him visit over to the house, he was wearing sneakers, so maybe the sneakers gave him a little bit of boost. But then he's wearing these salsa shoes, and he's like matching Priya's height a bit. So I'm like, oh no, I hope this is not like a deal breaker for Priya. But Priya, she's having a good time. She's enjoying dancing or learning how to dance. And she finds him as a great teacher, and he's in teacher mode, but I kind of want him to relax and just be a person on a date mode. But, they're having a great time. Priya enjoyed dancing. She did notice that he talks a lot, but she feels like it has a bit of balance. Like she's able to talk and get her thoughts across. So they start asking each other deep questions to know about each other's previous dating history, but they also keep it light, which is quite refreshing. I don't think that Priya has to dive completely deep into her divorce. And she keeps it light with Bobby with his previous dating history. He's been in a relationship for over 5 years, and she's been in a relationship for over 11 years. So these two are obviously people who are not afraid of commitment. So it was a good balanced conversation in that sense. I felt that Bobby was going to get a second date, but then, oh no, Priya, she is friend zoning him. She didn't say that to him, but in the not the confessional, but in the side conversation where the producers ask her thoughts about the date, Priya was saying that she doesn't get the butterflies that she would typically get. And I think that is so important. So I'm like, okay, that's fair. So Priya is friend zoning Bobby. I don't know how Bobby will find this out, but I don't want Bobby to be hurt. I think these two will be great friends at the end either way. I know that that's not what Bobby wants, but I'm sorry, Bobby. I think this is going to be a learning moment for Bobby. He has to, be in date mode, not in teacher mode. I feel like he was too much of a teacher throughout this date when he just needed to relax. Now we are over to Viral and Seema heading over in a bus to meet Ashe's family. And I'm like, okay, this is a big moment for our girl. And Seema, she is here for support. She's like, I'm so proud of you. And, they went on this journey because, Viral was from the previous season. So this is her match, and I think it's going to get serious. So we get to see up to the part where their taxi bus pretty much arrives to Ashe's family's house. And they're meeting outside, and we just see them walk up, but we don't get to see after that. But I'm so here for our girl. I think this is our girl's time. So we here to root for her and watch her journey. So that was the end of the episode. I had so much fun seeing our dates with the partners. So I wonder, I'm curious. I think what's to look forward next is pretty much if these people who went on the dates will go on a future date, if Bobby and Priya will have a talk to move forward in another date or to end it, which most likely it's going to be a talk to end it, so it's going to be quite sad. Now, with Rushali, next episode, I'm hoping to know who she picks and ultimately meets, so I'm excited to see her first date. And for Viral, our girl, our star, we're waiting to see her meet the family pretty much, and I look forward to that, and that's what we'll look forward to the next episode, guys. So if you enjoyed this episode, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, because we're here every week for a recap. So stay tuned to that, and as always, don't forget, share as much kindness as possible. Bye, guys.